Hi everybody, Cara Louise here again, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my diagonal Moss Stitch coaster. I have my little friend Chicken here to supervise with me today. So I'm going to put my hair up and we'll get started. But today we're just going to be making it in one color so you can see the construction of it. Basically it starts with one stitch at this end, increases up to the widest point, and then decreases down to the next corner. Okay, I'm going to start with a loose slip knot on my hook. Now I'm going to chain 3, and before I do anything else, I'm going to put a stitch marker around that chain. This just makes it a whole lot easier to see, to work into. So I'm just going to slip that right over there. Okay, it's around the chain. Now I'm going to single crochet in the third chain from the hook, which is the very first one that you make. Single crochet right there. Now I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to place a second stitch marker around that chain. And now here's why. Our next stitch, we need to make sure that we're working into that chain 3 space from the very first row. And without having had that stitch marker there, it could get very lost in all of the jumble of loops. But since we put that marker there, that makes it very easy to find. So we're going to single crochet into that chain 3 space, chain 1, and single crochet again in that very same space. So that's row 2. Now I'm going to turn my work, chain 3, whoops, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take my first stitch marker on the same side and move it up to the chain 3 just made. And we want to single crochet in that chain 1 space between the single crochet stitches into that chain 1 space. Chain 1, single crochet into the chain 3 space at the end, chain 1, single crochet into that very same space, and turn our work. And we're going to keep repeating that same process until the piece is as wide as we need it to be. Chain 3, move the stitch marker from this same side up to here, single crochet into the first chain 1 space right here, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet into the end chain 3 space, chain 1, single crochet into that very same space, and that's row 4 done. I'll do that one more time. Turn my work, chain 3, move my stitch marker from this same side. Now I'm going to single crochet between those first 2 stitches into that chain 1 space. You see, even I have to move my stitches around a little bit in order to find where I'm going to put my hook. Into that chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 1, single crochet into that chain 3 space at the end, chain 1, and single crochet into the very same space. Okay, that was row 5, and we can tell we're on row 5 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet stitches and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 1 spaces and the turning chain. And we're going to keep doing this until the piece is as wide as we want it to be. So I'm going to turn my video off and I'm going to work up to that row and I'll meet you up there. Okay, I've reached the end of my row 11, and I can tell that because I have 11 single crochet stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I have 10 chain spaces, chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and my turning chain at the very beginning. Now this I wanted to make coaster size, which I find 4 inches square makes a nice coaster, and I know that the widest part of my hand is about 4 inches. It's actually be made as big as you wanted it to. This makes a great dishcloth or washcloth, for instance, and those are usually maybe about 8 inches square. So I would just continue this. This makes a great baby blanket, and those you can make 36 inches square, 45 inches square, however big you want them. Okay, here I am at the end of row 11. I'm going to turn my work, chain 3, just as we've been doing, put my stitch marker in that, around that chain, going to single crochet in the very first chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet in the next space, do that all the way across. And the thing that makes this row different is how we're going to end it. So this is kind of like our transition row. It begins the same way as it used to. It's going to end a little differently, and then our next row is going to continue on with decreasing. Okay, there's my last chain 1 space. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3 space. I am not going to chain 1 after this. I'm going to half double crochet in that very same space. And that just makes that corner a little more cornery by having that end stitch a little taller. So you can see those last 2 stitches are right up against each other. There's no chain 1 space in between the ending anymore for the decreasing. Okay. Now I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to only chain 2 now from here on out. Move my stitch marker up around that turning chain. And now we need to skip those first 2 stitches. Remember, there's no chain space in between these first 2 anymore. We're going to single crochet in that next chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet in the next space, all the way across. Okay, here's the end of row 12. before I'm getting to the end of row 12. Chain 1. Okay, there's my last chain 1 space. My end stitch marker fell out. It was over here. Single crochet into that chain 1 space. I'm not going to chain 1 here. I'm going to single crochet instead right away. Now I'm going to turn my work, chain 2, and get my stitch marker back over there where it belongs. And I'm just going to continue on like this now. Skip those first 2 stitches, single crochet into the very next space, chain 1, single crochet all the way across, till I get to the last chain 1 space. Okay, there's my last chain 1 space. I single crochet into that. I don't chain 1 here. Instead, I just single crochet right into that marked space, turn my work, chain 2, move my stitch marker up, and continue. But you can see how we've turned the corner, right? That's our widest spot, right there and right there. So as we continue working those decrease rows, it's going to get narrower and narrower until it ends up at a corner. Right, I'm going to pause my video again and I'll meet you up there at the corner. Okay, I've reached the end of row 21 and I have 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 1 chain 1 space in the middle, and my turning chain at the beginning there. Okay, so I'm on round 22. I'm going to turn my work, excuse me, chain 2, move my stitch marker up, skip these first 2 stitches just like I've always been doing, single crochet in that chain 1 space, single crochet in the turning chain. I'm going to turn my work, and this time I'm only going to chain 1, skip those stitches, single crochet around that chain 2, and I am done. I can take my stitch markers out. I can cut my yarn. Pull that end through, and now here's where I do my little trick at the beginning with that loose slip knot that I made. You can see how this beginning corner is looser than my ending corner. So all I'm going to do is just unpick that. Pull that strand back through. Don't worry, it won't unravel. Okay. And now watch. When I pull that tight, it's like magic. It tightens up that beginning corner so that it looks just like our ending corner. Now, of course, I'm going to weave in my ends, and I'll give this a little spray with some water and then squish it out into shape a little bit, and that'll help even out my tension. But there is my single color coaster. Thank you for bearing with me as I showed this to you, and happy crocheting!